You are about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the meta. The meta controls everything. The meta determines what will and will not happen. You are watching The Meta Show.
Alright. Oh, hold on. Can't hear you for some reason. 1 second. There we go. Hello? Yes! We can hear Mittens! Whoa!
Oh my.
No more technical difficulties.
Are we live? Have we,
yes,
are we,
we're live. We're live.
Are we doing it live?
Yes, we're live.
Is this happening? Oh my god!
Look at the background and don't laugh too hard. I'm sorry, guys. I lost the background for the Meta Show. I don't know where I put it.
Oh my god. This is the most professional show ever.
I
love it.
You know. Yeah, so I had to quickly make background graphics.
Oh, wow.
3 resources so quickly. Holy shit.
The Meta Boat Show. I don't know. This is, so yeah, so Laz isn't with us today. Laz has the FanFest Plague, and we almost didn't have a Meta Show because FanFest Plague took him out pretty rapidly, and we were like, oh god, what are we going to do? You know, his boat around. Boat turns up 5 minutes before we were supposed to go live, and it's like, oh hey, I'm here. I just happened to tune in, and I can totally do it. So here we are. It's going to be awesome. We're going to do it live. We're supposed to be having our guest, Bony Tooth Tompkins, who is from Minilove, and was going to be talking about, you know, ganking in the new environment and how Minilove has been adapting to the changes that CCP has been putting in to nerf or attempt to nerf suicide ganking. But if Bony is actually watching this, if you could add Boat on Skype, we will try to bring you in live, essentially. I was trying to find the guy in Jabber earlier. So yeah, all of this... we're gonna pull a Bill O'Reilly here. I think gonna do it.
I'm sorry. Did Minilove kill your Citadel? Yeah, didn't they kill the first Citadel ever made?
Yeah, actually, that's
guy posted on Reddit about how he made a Citadel and then it was going on the market, and then like not even 3 hours later it was dead. Well,
Bo just sent an all ping to ask Boney to like hit him up on Skype. This is the best. Yeah, no. So Citadels are out now, and you know, so I'm just going to talk about Minilove a bit, and we can chat back and forth about this, and hopefully we'll get Boney to turn up. What we actually have. You know, the Citadels have finally started showing up. Like last night, the very first Citadels rolling off the assembly line started pouring out of Jita, and then there was a race to see who could get the first Citadel kill mill. And I'm not sure whether Minilove got the very first one, but if not first, definitely the second.
We know they
of the
wanted to
Astra
join
Boost that was
MOA, but
destroyed.
were denied, and we
People are calling them the
them.
Australia House because if you look at them from above, it actually looks like Australia. And they ganked some freighter that was, I think, like 17 billion ISK and got one of the first Citadels in it. So that was pretty good. Oh, here we got our bribe.
Yeah, donation says, we welcome a monk to our ranks. We know they wanted to join MOA, but we were denied, and we accept him. It's from Pandemic Legion. Hey, speaking of Boney, he won't be here. Apparently he's in the middle of a wedding. And
what?
In DC. It won't be back till tomorrow morning. So,
oh my god. Okay.
I guess we won't be having him as a guest today.
Well, do we want to try to like? Do you want to try to bring Zell on live like randomly?
I'll call Zell right now. Yeah.
Yeah, call Zell right now. We're gonna get a guest, guys. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be awesome.
See if Zell's on Skype. Hold on. Let's see. Zell Florian.
This is gonna be pretty hilarious.
Dragging him into call.
People are asking you to vote. Turn your mic volume up for your own mic volume.
My mic volume up? Wow, people yelled at me yesterday I was too loud, so hold on. I
like you loud. You know, I don't like my boat on a low, you know, like you don't think.
Hi, Zell!
Hi, Zell!
Hello?
Hi, you're on the Meta Show again.
What the fuck?
Well, what you see, our guest is apparently at a wedding. So now you're gonna be the guest.
Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Oh my God.
How is how's the German war machine doing today? Have you blapped anybody or tooted at anybody? How are things?
I'm sitting right now naked on my chair. I'm very confused that you actually called me. I don't know. I have done nothing today. Like the 1st of May is like tomorrow, and like I'm showering. Well, I want to go to shower and have some fun and shit, and go out and drink because horny white boy lifestyle, I guess.
Love to club. Apparently, club shaming is now in. I mean, I've been reading on Reddit on r/eve that going clubbing and partying on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays is something that you shouldn't do. In fact, if you go out, you are bad, and partying and clubbing is something you should not do. I'm guessing that these are the people who are not going to Vegas ever. How often do you wallow in pleasure, Zell?
Actually, every day when I stand up and look in the mirror, I see a fancy, beautiful, strong man, and like I do everything. I do everything.
Oh my god.
You do
I need my
everything.
resubscribe counter back. That's like the 5th resubscribe already. We always get a lot of resubscribes on the show or something because holy crap.
Oh
Throw
my
money
God.
at me.
Hey, people want to make it rain, considering especially we have such high production values here. We have our MS Paint background. We're calling in guests live. Clearly, our spirit is broken. I mean, God, there's this person who is constantly like, when I go out or I do anything, this disgruntled guy will leak Elysium and be like, the Mittani spirit is waning because he's not chatting in Elysium for like the last day or whatever. And I've just been like,
For the last minute, he's been voting his life. He must not be doing anything important.
I'm just like, I don't even like. And then they're like, oh, love to club, like this like hashtag thing they're trying to do, like, oh wow, we're not. We should.
Hashtag is really good. I like.
I do love to club, so and I think that there's no reason to be ashamed about it. In fact, I love it so much, I'll type it here in chat right now.
So yeah,
of course I typoed it. Oh god, because I.
Kloof to kloof. Wow. Kloof to kloof.
Chat is going apeshit over this Amok troll. Amok has been trying to troll a lot lately.
Oh my god, those people! I mean, because we Desperation. Credit to Desperation. Desto is an amazing Photoshop guy, and Desto photoshopped Laz as being in Sniggeredly during FanFest, and our enemies just went apeshit with it. Like they bought onto it because confirmation bias. They believe what they want to believe. So they're running around going nuts about how Laz is in Snig during FanFest and like taking it completely seriously, buying into it. And anybody who actually logged into EVE Online and hit show info would have immediately been able to realize it was bullshit. But these people are dumb. And so now today they managed to get everybody thinking that Muckdot is going to PL, and even to the point of PL directors hitting them up and going, "Do you guys, can we sit on your director meeting because like." They trolled India, like they got India to bite on it, which was hilarious.
The thing about it is great, is that they got everyone to believe that he was going to PL by doing the wrong corporation. Because if he was going to join any corporation PL, he would follow Elise, right? He's going to join Elise's corp. He's not going to join Snig. Like, I know Snig is probably like the 5th best corp in PL, so why would Laz ever join that corp? But anyways, isn't Snig run by Jeff Rader?
Actually, we should. Apparently, this is actually happening, and we are totally not ruining the troll. Muckdot is, in fact, joining PL. They did not troll Indy. This is really happening. We swear. This is the problem. Is like I wake up late and like I'm not sure whether like the troll or not troll had played out, and so like we might. It's like this. It's like with a Syndic Thras Crass Kitty thing. With a Syndic thing, like we managed to keep that going for, I think, a week and a half, 2 weeks, just because.
God. Okay, is my microphone still low? Can you guys hear me? I have turned the mittens down. Man, we have another subscriber. That's the 2nd one already. Hey, thank Harry Nipples Johnson.
Harry Nipples Johnson. Ooh, baby. I love him. Talk dirty to me. Okay.
All right, so as we move forward here, we have a special request from someone to talk about the Oven Side chat that happened about an hour or so ago. I missed the Oven Side chat. Oh, another donation. Hold on one second.
The Mittani is frustrated like Hitler in the Fuhrer bunker as he's being bombed. Oh wait, that's a Sino-1Y.
What do we got?
Oh, Pandemic Horde says the Mittani is frustrated like Hitler in the Fuhrer bunker as he's being bombed. Oh wait, that's us in 01Y. Oh shit.
Oh my god.
Okay, so so someone says we need to talk about the Oven Side chat. I missed it. Last week I watched it because I knew it was gonna. Well, the first time they did it, I watched it because I knew there was gonna be a whole lot of like, whose dick can we suck harder, like Villy's or Jeff's, or like they just want like a round table of, here, I'm putting my dick on the table and everyone just suck it, and then we'll go to the next guy, and that was the first one. This one I missed, and apparently you have some insight about this, Mitten, so let's talk about that. Some people want to hear about that.
Okay, well, I mean, I was actually busy at the time also, so what I have here for the Ovenside chat is like a rolling report from Querns in a Loom about it, which I could also, just in the principle of like doing everything live, is I could just like read a Loom live and Querns' commentary on it. Let's see, what do we got? It's basically just, it's a bunch of stuff that we were talking about, like how we expected that, wow, this is just really like a long-running comment. They're saying, what are the victory conditions of this war? I don't think that we can lay out our victory conditions. We achieved most of the goals we laid out then when we set out doing this. I hate that we were outnumbered. Apparently, Querns' analysis, apparently, Goonswarm is only allowed to bring, or our allies as well, we're only allowed to bring 200 people or less on a fleet, or the boogeyman will reform and stomp us again. Which, of course, doesn't really work very well considering we flash-formed a full grinder fleet just yesterday. But what's happening is, like, they have to extract. They have to get out. So Test is leaving tomorrow. Yeah. And most of Test is already like on their way to Vale, right? Tissue's out. They're in Clattering and YI Attack. PL is not getting any of the fights they want. They were bored at FanFest. They're not getting any of the big super capital stuff that they wanted. They're trying to make the best of it by talking about how all of the Imperiums, like, of course they call us the CFC, all of the CFC super capital fleet is trapped in 93 PI, which it's not, but that's the best thing that they can do when they're scraping at the bottom of the barrel. And predictably, they constantly are saying that we're not fleeting up, we don't have fleets out, we don't have anything, because the people who are mostly seeing our fleets are Pandemic Horde. And there was, but were you around for that broadcast that Pandemic Horde sent yesterday?
Yeah, I'm the one that rebroadcasted. So what happened yesterday is, you want me to talk about this? Because I'm the one.
Yeah,
that
go for
it.
it. I mean,
so what happened yesterday was.
I love it when people pray, because this is a family
All right,
show.
So yesterday we decided I wanted to try something new. So with the way the solve works in this system, you got to poke the bear, and to poke the bear, you have to try new things. And so it started with doing sword fleets and giving FC clinics to Pandemic Horde newbie FCs. What they don't realize is that probes take 5 seconds to activate. Our ships warp in 2 seconds, so you can. It's like a fucking. I'm making a video about this, and someone's helping me do it. But it's like Muhammad Ali fighting Foreman. It's like, here comes the mummy. He's swinging from the right, and then he dodges it, and then he's swinging from the left, and then he dodges it. Like you see it coming, and it's the same thing that happens with Pandemic Horde. You take a sword fleet there, you see them land at a spot, you see them get ready to warp to you, you see them warp to you, and then you're already gone, right? And you just warp around like 8 times before they say fuck it and dock up. And then you farm them some more, and then they form a new fleet, and they try it again. Well, last night, we wanted to try something new. We had these things called rapiers. They're really long-range recon ships that can entos us from 200 kilometers. So I wanted to see if we could do a rapier supported by 100 cormorants, so if they suicide charge frigates, we just kill all of their frigates, and the rapier keeps hacking. And I wanted to take out cloning service, just to see how many people we could send to HiSec. So last night, we start hacking cloning. They form up 150 dudes to come fight my 100, and then try to catch us with frigates. And I let them get every time they would go to undock, we would bubble the undock. So they'd panic and think there was bombs, so they couldn't MWD out with their frigates. So they would all dock up. Well, one time we let half of them warp, and the other half was still docked, so we bubbled it. And so the other half couldn't get out, but their FC got out, so we do this. So we let them get a warping on the rapier, let them tackle the rapier, then warped into cormorants on top of the rapier as they landed, and just killed every one of them. Then, everyone else was ordered to undock and charge, so they charged right at us, and we killed all those. And then Isildur was bombing at the same time, so we
which was Isildur's first night doing bombing runs ever. Like, Isildur had never done bombing runs, and he, like, obliterated just hundreds of ships. It was pretty ridiculous.
He kept bombing and bombing and bombing. He got 3 good runs in. NC Dot was there the whole time. According to my stream, they must have been there to learn from me how to FC, because they sat there with Feeples, like 500 kilometers above the fight, watching for almost 2 hours before they finally warped in and tried to kill us, and then they got bombed. So it's like, they really didn't do anything. They just watched. We mocked them live on stream. Well, we took out cloning. And right after we took out cloning, they started to panic and flee. Like, they were flipping out. Like, holy shit, how did we not stop them? We could have suicided in them. We could have took Griffins. We could have done Molluses. We could have done something. Well, they had one guy come jam me like 3 times. So they could have stopped us. But they didn't. So they lose cloning. Now they can't undock until cloning's fixed. or someone big enough to take us off, because every time they undock, we would kill one, and they would get sent to HiSec. We'd kill one, they get sent to HiSec. Because the way Horde works is you have this 1-year opportunity to move into 0-0, right? So you can reset your clone to your station 0-0 once a year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey, thanks to K-Man for 13 months, dude. So Horde tells all its newbies, do it immediately. You know, new people join up. It doesn't matter if you're 6 years old or 1-year-old. Use that. Get out here quick. Help us out here. Because you can't get your slaves to work if they're not out in the field. So they have
Tosis slaves. That's basically what they are. Is they're essentially like the Reddit and Tosis slaves.
Or mining slaves, or catalyst ratting slaves. But we'll get to that later. But anyway, so they start freaking out in fleet chat. And one guy was like, where the hell's PL? This was promised would never happen. They told us PL would come if this ever happened. This big-ass goon fleet's here, and there is no PL. Well, PL was on the way, but that was like an hour after we hacked it. So a guy sends this broadcast named, I forget who the fucking guy was, but he sends a broadcast, goes, stop undocking, you're going to get potted to HiSec, you're not going to make it back, and pray PL shows up. In big capital letters. Oh.
It was basically nuts. Sorry, I was like typing on here because like we're trying to figure out what we should shit on next because there's so much to go over here. But it was like an all caps broadcast. Pray for PL to come, and so of course we like Desperation and some other guys instantly. I'm not sure whether it was Desto or at least one of our other Photoshop wizards instantly like put this into like some sort of like a Jesus photo image that then we proceeded to spam in local at them. But I mean basically what we're seeing here, strategically speaking, it's the same shit we've been talking about every time. Almost all of our enemies, the band of backstabbers, are sitting around there talking to each other about how goons don't undock, they don't want to actually see anything other than like the bait fleets that we have. Meanwhile, if you actually look at Dotland, you see where the real war is happening. You can see the actual truth of the chessboard. You can't disguise these things. And it's amazing to me because they just want to fanfic their way into having us go away. And now they've pretty much gone full Bob with this whole, like, you know, we're going to come back if goons ever build up in the north. We're going to monitor what Goonswarm is up to, and if they ever put more than 200 people in fleet, we'll be back, and we're totally going to be able to do whatever and deal with save us. So, I mean, you know, if our enemies are convinced, which they are because they want to believe it, that we are defeated and that we're doomed and everything is screwed, they have an excuse to not actually help each other out, which is what you're seeing. So Pandemic Horde is under attack, and then after Pandemic Horde, whoever is next comes under attack. Their allies don't need to help them because the Imperium doesn't exist anymore because they fanficked that into reality as far as they're concerned. So why help each other out? Because, you know,
best part
whatever.
of yesterday was, it was either yesterday or the night before we were doing Sword Fleet. And it was the first night Goblins had been online and like, with Pandemic Horde. Now he had flown with PL a bit for like 2-3 weeks. He hadn't been there at all. Like Goblins has been non-existent. And so you have all these Pandemic Horde FCs running the show with no PL support, no NC support, no Waffle support. No one's assisting these guys in fighting, so they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. They have no idea how to set up traps. I mean, Moa did a better job yesterday of hitting us than even Lacko and his lackeys, but we'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, so out comes PL to save them. PL saves them, and they're all happy. Look, PL saved us, yeah. But it was like 3 hours later. So we went home when PL showed up. We lost the rapier, we went home, got Sword Fleet, and just kind of, you know, ran around a bit. But, what was I going to say?
Well, you were talking about you're getting a phone call, and
yeah, I know that. I muted that.
It's vibrating.
No, I'm trying to.
Does that vibration excite you, Zell? How do you feel about the vibration?
I'm feeling actually very excited because I've met a new girl on the net. Her name is Nadine. You know, and I'm actually like truly in love with her. Like Crash Kitties saw yesterday. You know.
Well, you're a lover, not a fighter. Oh, I mean, actually, that's not true because you're the German war machine. So, I mean, are you a better lover than a fighter? I mean, how does that work, Zell?
You know, we have to save our future, right? Therefore, we need to create more miners and more PvP people. So I'm trying really hard at the moment to create more Zells, I guess.
Create more Zells.
but I have to go. I'm really sorry. I have to go because like I need to drive to a certain place and do stuff with a girl.
There's still
You know what I
girl.
mean?
Do you have to leave the meta show live to go off to a booty call? Is that what you're telling us?
Yes,
Are you gonna
my
blab
duty
blab, or
calls
are you gonna
me.
toot toot?
I think I'm gonna blab blab and she toot toots. Like, oh,
You're gonna give her one of those old
Okay.
trade whistles after you finish. She'll be like, dude.
Kaldari Navy tissues.
Oh,
I guess
God.
only Kaldari Navy tissues.
Oh, Lord.
Right, I'm really sorry. No, like, bye. I love you guys. I love you.
I love you too,
Oh,
Zal.
wait,
It's not
Donation.
working out. I'm
It's not
gone.
working out, I'm
I've joined
gone.
Pandemic
I'm joining
Legion.
Pandemic Legion. Okay, good for you. Have fun.
Oh my God.
Doing nothing. Anyway,
Wow.
so, I remember now. There was a video of Molly at the barbecue where he's wearing a pink fluffy hat, and someone asked him, "What do you think of goons?" And he goes, "Die," and all
Right.
dramatic, right? And he's got like a cigar and everything. Woo! Mitten's head just got really big. Hold on, let me fix that since Zell left. But anyways, it just reminds me of the comment on that show that you bring up, is that they want us to never rebuild in 0-0. It's just like Bob. They think it's actually a possibility, right? Like,
Well, I mean, it's the same thing. Like, yeah, like they couldn't do it in Syndicate. And like, again, when we talk about Bob, they hate that. But if you actually look at the members of Band of Brothers back in the day and who's in NCDOT and PL, it's the same fucking corporations as the guys in Bob. They really don't like that. But again, there's always your generic elite rating guild in every MMO at the top that is like, oh, we're the most elite, whatever. So, as part of that, kind of like Bob, they're like, in CMPL, Bob would actually take space, and that's the thing, is that on the Ovenside chat, where they're herfing blurfs about how great they are and how they're never going to allow us to build up in 0-0 again, whatever, they're also saying this whole thing has been kind of a disappointment, as if coming at us they expected anything fun or entertaining. Our enemies should always suffer, because our enemies deserve nothing but suffering. But yeah, so they said on their Ovenside chat, this whole thing's been kind of a disappointment. Sad it was not more of a challenge. Like, we evac all of our alliance assets, we have all of our shit together, we're retaking space in Pure Blind and Fade, and we're continuing to march north and isolate and exterminate our foes. But meanwhile, PL and NCDOT are explicitly saying on this big Ovenside chat, PL and NCDOT have no interest in holding any of this space. So
yeah, that's gonna really work out at the end of the day, right?
What are you gonna do?
Someone brought this up yesterday. I was doing my show, and someone brought this up somewhere, and I can't remember where it was, but it was the three biggest entities in EVE don't technically own space or live in it, as it were. You have NCDOT, who lives in the X7 and doesn't really have space. I mean, they have the 2R YAO circle jerk constellation they use to say, look, we own your space, kind of thing. And then PL doesn't have space. They live in X7 for content, but they may leave as soon as all their potential shot targets are gone. And then you have us, and we live in Ceridon. So the three biggest names that CCP can go out there and say, look, these guys are doing all the cool things we designed. Well, they're not really doing it. They're avoiding it. Which is interesting, because then it leads you to Citadels. Who's going to drop a Citadel in NPC or non-NPC 0-0 if they don't ever plan on living in that space? Like, who's going to put Citadels down there? I mean, maybe CVA will, but all these guys that are living up north in our home, I doubt they're going to drop Citadels, and if they do, they're probably going to lose them, because PL's going to farm them. Someone's going to farm them, right? I don't think PL gives a fuck about darkness if it means killing the first Citadel that was deployed in the game. You know what I mean? So
I think it's just amazing to see, like, you see on the Meta Show, when we do these shows, when we have our fireside chats and we have Elysium, like, we're talking to our guys all the time, and we have been, everybody knows what's going on, we know where our fleets are, we know what we're doing, but you come here, and this is the opportunity for our enemies to actually see what's happening in our heads, and they just scream, like in chat here, you're like, oh, you're delusional, oh, you don't know what's going on. These people aren't looking at a SOV map. Like, there is perfect information in FOSSISOV as to what is taking place, who is taking what where. But they so desperately want to believe their fan fiction that they upvoted so hard and that they told each other was going to be the case, that when they see us not broken, not with our spirit waning, though I do feel a little bit hungover today, I'm not going to lie, it blows their mind. So, like, here's a guy who's going in chat, he's calling himself the Mittani Connection 2. He's like, you said that CO2 was going to die, and CO2 is thriving, and it's true. when we thought that, I mean, CO2 is not dead yet. We haven't gone after CO2 yet. We said that we were going to go after CO2, and then we changed targets to go after Pandemic Horde because Pandemic Horde was weak and further north, and we thought we would lose our territory if our enemies actually did work and ate their Sovweedies. And if you were in a situation where you lost all of your space for real, and you're starting from nothing in Saranen, then going after CO2 would make sense. But we announced, what, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that Pandemic Horde with the scouring of O and Y, which Boat pioneered, that we're going to go after Horde first.
Well,
so
the
you change your
Mittani
plans.
is an interesting guy. He always comes in our shows and talks about how he's
going to be, are you
great.
triggered? This is funny.
Yeah, he's about
he
this.
Apparently he thinks he's quite...
I like him coming to our shows because he always draws up such interesting conversations for all the rest of the people to come out and talk. Sometimes people get quiet on the other side. They just watch. Like, Pandemic Horde tends to watch a lot of my shows because I'm hitting their house. It's like Moa. When I used to beat up on Moa, they would come watch my show because they wanted to see where I was and if they could come kill me. The whole stream snipe mentality. But we look at this, it's pretty interesting to see how they're treating the game now compared to where it's going to go in the future. Because then if you look at the whole Reddit posting spree, like the propaganda's gone. Like, you haven't seen but maybe one propaganda post a day. Whereas
because we're dead, they don't need to.
Yeah,
they don't need to post about how. Yeah, like
just a week ago it was nothing but propaganda posts, right? You have a very telltale sign when the old Northern Coalition died back in the day. All of the allies kind of went their own separate ways. It got as far away from each other as they could because they knew that PL would eventually reset them, or NC Dot would eventually reset them and start shooting them. And that's the same thing you're starting to see now. Test is going to fucking Vale. Oh, hey, $5.
Notice US Senpai.
Thank Chat Spammer for noticing you. Hi. So Test has got the fuck out. Tissue jumped the fuck away, went over to Cloud Ring.
Snuffbox is having like failure cascade stuff after they went after Shadow Cartel. Like a couple corporations left Snuffbox. These guys are all just like.
I'm just spitting random bullshit, but we could talk about that because there was a good post about that recently. Snuffbox is dying because of breaking their honor code.
Honor.
So for those of you that don't know, Snuffbox AWOXed. A Titan and 4 super carriers. Well, I think the fourth got away. It was like Titan has 3 super carriers inside of their own plus. So some of their allies are storing temporarily Titan and some super caps in an allied tower, which is Snuffbox. Snuffbox saw this as an opportunity to kill them. They're X-Razor, and so they reset the plus password and blew them all up. And a lot of people inside Snuffbox got really pissy about this. And one corporation, one of their most major corporations outside the primary corp, up and left. Just boom, gone. Just see you later. We thought this was dishonorable. We're going to some other low-sec group that's not dishonorable. So, yeah, that shit was funny as fuck.
And then another corp went too, and this is like this. You do just see this cycle in terms of drama is that if everybody, and this happened in 2006 as well, if everybody is convinced that we're dead and gone, then they can't do propaganda about how they're going to kill us because they're victorious and they won, which is why they're all leaving the territory, and that means that like Horde is going to be left to defend Fade. Last night, all you saw defending our territory and all of the people that you saw going after Imperium territory in Fade was Darkness, a small PL group, and Pandemic Horde. That's it. And Test is on the way out. Tissue is out. Snuffbox is having issues, and they're also out as Shadow Cartel. Triumvirate is gone. Everybody's declaring victory. And this is the thing about this is exactly what I have said over and over and over again for weeks now. We said we were executing amphibian strategy. We said exactly what the enemy was going to do. We evacuated all of our shit from Declan. We made them eat their Sovweedies and suffer, and then we're using nasty, nasty psychological warfare tactics against them such that they're not having fun, they're raging out, they're trying to act like they're having fun, or they're trying to act like nothing is happening, and they're totally victorious and they're gone, and the Imperium will never be allowed to build up in 0-0 again, which worked out so well at the start of the last Great War. But they can't help each other out, because if they help each other out, that means that they're acknowledging that they have failed. And everything that we've been saying has come to pass. So, and that makes us scream. I mean, I love the screaming because it means that, if these guys are so victorious, why they're, our goons, grr, why aren't you acknowledging that, we've been beaten and gotten rid of? They don't. So what?
So someone said, chat, well, Spectre Fleet's here now. Yeah, Spectre Fleet is back after a 3-week hiatus of being cock-slapped by Boat's Bomber Wolf in a pipe bombing run. Jane Fillion is back active. He's pulled them out of Amar after 3 weeks, and they are coming after us. Their first fleet op, if you could call it that, was Hurricane Fleet.
Of random garbage.
Yeah, it was Hurricane Fleet yesterday.
They hate getting called random garbage. I love it.
Yes.
Like, every time I call Spectre Fleet random garbage, they like flip out on Reddit and anywhere they can scream.
You gotta understand, it's run by Tri, and it's all the FCs in Tri that Tri won't let FC because they're too bad for Tri, so they run Spectre Fleet, and so they think that they're these elite Tri
Reddit
FCs.
Shields and Spectre Fleet, Reddit Slaves and Horde.
Right,
like,
so Jane comes back, and it's his very first fleet he's a part of since coming back, and we had 100 sword fleet warp in, tackle everything, and we undocked the Hurricane Fleet. We lost 4 Hurricanes and killed everything. All 120 of them died.
Was that Thomas Lear?
Yes, Thomas Lear undocked into them, and I think they killed a Loki that was armor tanked and was AFK or something, but other than that, it was just, like, we had all the Hurricanes on screen, because I was streaming it, and, like, 4 would die at a time from the enemy. It was just like, boom, 4, boom, 4, boom, 4. It was like, okay, the Hurricanes are gone. Then you look at the Ruptures, it's like 5 would disappear, then another 5 would disappear, and it was disgusting. I don't even know what to say to that. But it's a good thing we brought up Spectre Fleet and Death, because there's something I want to talk about, and I'm going to link this in chat. There have been 3 specialty ships killed this week. Unique ships, the ones from the Alliance Tournament.
A Maracha, a Whiptail, and a... What's the other one? Maracha, Whiptail, and a... Chromeros.
So the reason I want to talk about some of these is because of how they died. Their fits were really expensive, but the fact is... to give you an example, the first one that died was on the 27th this week. It was the Kremios, and it had some purple mods, some Gotan's modified gyro stabs, which are mad expensive, like $3 bill a piece. And it died to the culture, and it looks like it died to a culture gate camp because there's a carrier on the fucking kill mill. Like, you don't get a carrier on a fucking kill mill. But it went through Fountain. It was located in Fountain near the culture, and they dropped on it and killed it. And that guy was pretty fucking ballsy. Like, going to wherever he went was like, yeah, fucking nuts. So that was that. That one wasn't bad. I mean, that guy was brave. The next one that died was the one that shocked me. It was a guy from Hard Knocks, which everyone knows Hard Knocks is the PL wormhole.
PL wormhole.
Yeah.
Alt
He lost the Whiptail. His Whiptail was fit like I would fit a worm. So it was basically a 100 billion-esque worm with 900 million in mods, like really shitty mods. And he died to a fucking devoter. So he tried to brawl, or it was in a worm space, obviously, but it looks like he tried to fight or brawl a devoter, and devoter just said, "Up, you're pointed. Up, you're dead."
Could he just not get away? I mean, if he had...
okay, so devoter has
did he not have an AB fit?
Scram. So it turns off your mic warp drive.
Right, but did he not have it? I guess he didn't have an AB fit on the
No, he was mic warp drive fit.
Because I mean, a lot of these things will be dual prop. Like I saw with the loss of the Maracha, that was the dual prop one. I mean,
no, not devoter. I'm sorry, broadsword. He died to a broadsword, and it looks like a heretic got on the kill mill at the end. But yeah, that was just disgusting. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I get distracted in chat. There's a guy who's like saying that all I do is I shitpost on R-Eve, which is just... I love these fucking chat things.
And
like,
then here we go. And then the Maraca, which is the third and final one, that was killed, looks like last night in Amamaki. This one died to fucking interceptors. Like, this thing's supposed to be like an anti-interceptor blap ship. And it died to an interceptor, a Garber, and then some unknown, which we're not sure what the unknown is. I think the unknown is... possibly a Drake. So you have a 128 billion-ish ship that died in Amamaki to possibly a bunch of trash. Like, I don't understand these people. Like, why?
I like to actually get used, though. I mean, I'm not going to lie on this. Like, I think that it's really cool to see whenever somebody actually has an Alliance Tournament ship, when they actually do get out there, they do use them. Because you rarely see that.
It was a Pontifex, an Interceptor, and a Garmer. So it was a 50 million-ish command destroyer, a Garber, and a Interceptor. Like, what the fuck? Oh, apparently he self-destructed, according to chat. As soon as he got tackled, he was dead, he self-destructed. What the fuck? You're flying a 132 billion-ish ship and you're gonna self-destruct when you get tackled? At least I tried when my ship died.
Well, I thought that these guys would actually, like, in most cases, like, for, like, you know, when PL does this, and some of the other, like, more elite PvP types, if they are using Alliance tournament ships, they do have them as part of, like, a group, right? They, you know, they've got links, they've got backup, and so when they're using them, they have somebody that they can call for help to basically bail the damn thing out if it gets into trouble, which is sensible if you've got an asset like that. But on the other hand, at least they're, like, on the field doing something.
So someone made a comment in chat, well, at least they undock, unlike the CFC. Well, I just want to do a little quick update on that. The status of the Imperium. A lot of people say CFC, but I like to think of CFC as Test. They've taken up that name of CFC, because we're the Imperium. You can't call it as a CFC anymore, so it must be Test they're talking about.
I love how they try to, like, tell us what our name is.
So they're talking about us not undocking. And if you look at the top kill mills...
on C kill board?
We have more kills this week combined than the next 5 alliances combined.
No, I mean, we don't normally we don't really do the whole kill board thing, and so it's kind of funny for us to do this. But like the thing about this, you know, these guys have desperately tried to convince themselves that we don't undock. They've desperately tried to convince themselves that we're not taking soft. They've desperately tried to convince themselves that we are broken because they don't see a big fleet in being at any given time, because they're ignoring all these other things. Every time we hit O1Y, they're talking about how there's going to be this amazing big battle, which of course we bait them there, bomb them, fuck with them, and then torch their space around them, right? Like, these are things that you can verify independently. You don't have to go, oh, Mittani spin, oh, he's so delusional, or whatever. The facts are on the ground. The facts are on the kill boards. The facts are on Dotland. You can see what we're doing. But our enemies who are in chat and calling us the CFC are so desperate to believe what they want to believe, just like in the Fountain War, that you know, maybe if they just upvoted hard enough, they can say goons don't undock. And if goons aren't undocking, why are we taking space? Why are we killing you? And, you know, I think it's interesting. So the echo chamber, the Kool-Aid drinking echo chamber, is only ever broken at the point of contact between the Imperium forces and our first intended victim, right? So right now that's Horde, right? So everybody else isn't really seeing Imperium fleets out and about doing things, because we're all gunning for Horde to the exclusion of pretty much everything else. So the Horde guys know, but they're too busy trying to act like everything is okay, or they're praying for PL to save them. And if everybody else wants to believe that they don't need to help their allies out because goods are totally dead and not undocking, awesome.
Yeah, a really interesting point though is that EVE nowadays is about numbers, right? It's back in our day. I say our because I've been around this game since what, 2007, and I'm not even as old as you are in this game. But it was all about the objective, because a tower determined who owned soft. So if you could lose hundreds of fleets, take all their towers, and you would objectively own the soft. So the towers mattered. This is Fozzy soft, right? It doesn't give a shit who owns the space anymore. I mean, to be honest, the space isn't worth shit. So now it's about, you have to find another metric, because you can't determine who's winning anymore on Fozzy soft. It doesn't work like that. It's too fucking messy. And no one really owns the space. They just live there until someone else comes and takes it, because it favors the attacker, not the defender. And so you have to look at some other metric. And a great metric right now is Zkill. Like, how active are people? Because Zkill does a great job of documenting how many individual people are playing, how many systems they're going to, how many regions. And right now, the 2 top active people are Pandemic Lord and Goon. So it seems like wherever the conflict is, that's where the activity is. And surprisingly, you're not seeing anyone else show up there. Like, we're there every day, all day. Running away, hiding. And no
they
one
should
else
pray harder. I mean, if they pray, then maybe... So, I mean, here's the thing.
Maybe raid will happen.
So
oh, that's
here's
a
the thing
great pun! I just realized. I just made a great pun without even realizing it.
Are you K-Color? Are you channeling K-Color?
Maybe raid will happen?
Oh, wow. Wow. It's a YOLO joke. That was cold, but
no, it was a PL showing up joke. Get it?
Oh man. Okay. So anyway, there's something I want to hit on here, because I think that both with Spectre Fleet and this person in chat, like, you know, this person said in chat, what was it? Where was this bad? Please make boats start to do fights instead of ganks. Would be so much fun for all. And my point was, this is why you guys lose to us. We've talked about this before, is that there is this entitlement that our enemies think that we at the same time as they're shouting for our doom, calling us names, calling me Hitler on a daily basis. Oh my God, that's so scary. And just doing anything they can to try to destroy us, to break us up, to do whatever. At the same time, these children feel entitled to self-esteem trophies and like, oh, we'll fight your way. Oh, we'll give you content your way. Here is what Spectre Fleet and everyone who we fight through the many years of vengeance which are going to come here can expect. And you will be able to look back on this. And also, I think I just disappeared due to Skype.
Yeah, I found you again. Don't worry. Sorry.
You found me again.
Yeah,
oh,
I meant. I thought I had it on Set Do Not Disturb, but I didn't, so it popped up a notification. I was like, oh shit! Oops. You disappeared. Sorry.
Okay, so here's what you can expect, and here's why we do this. Right? Is our enemies think that they can come for us in our home space and get the kind of content that they want and that they enjoy. In fact, they feel like they're entitled to it. Because I suppose, that, again, like self-esteem trophies in high school, everybody's a winner. Guys, it's just about taking frags. When you come for the Imperium, you should expect that we will do what we've done. We will find what you want, find what you enjoy, and give you the opposite of that. Our people enjoy ganking. Our people enjoy having these oppression fleets, which you cannot catch, and sword fleets, which can assassinate your hackers and your FCs, and snatch fleets, which headshot your FCs. Initiative specializes in those. That you can't do anything about. We know that you hate it because we watch you screaming on our eve while you're trying to brag about your glorious victories. We see what you say internally. We see what frustrates you. We find what frustrates you, and then we try to iterate our doctrines and our tactics to make them even more awful because we owe you nothing. In fact, we're fueled by the screaming and the chat porn and the tears and the misery. So with Spectre Fleet, we pipe bomb them, we headshot their FCs, we ensure that it's as miserable as possible because why should we incentivize these people with their hypocrisy coming to try to get a good fight? You would headshot the FCs and say, hey, if you want to come here again, this is what you get.
Someone just said in capital letters, well, PL is waiting on O&Y. Anytime you guys undock, come on down. Lol. I'm gonna leave this depressive drama train. Better streams out there. No, there's no better stream to stream EVE Online than this. I mean, you aren't gonna get any better for the next 3 hours. I'm sorry. I mean, the only people that anyone ever cares to watch are two guys that stream like a Dundalk. They get the most views.
I love this. PL. Oh my God. Jesus.
Yeah. So, anyways, some guy linked a kill mail about how to kill a boat fleet, and yeah, I've lost a lot of interceptors lately. I ain't gonna lie. But then I linked what happened after I died. So we lost 19 interceptors and 1 stealth bomber, but we killed 80 frigates and a whole lot of other things. So it's kind of hilarious that their new thing is to try and kill me. Whenever I show up with the sword fleet, will try to kill me. The best thing about that is that we tend to have people go AFK and like decide to leave their ship in a safe spot. So I'll die. I'll warp my pod to our safe spot with our fleet, pick up that ship that someone left behind because Horde doesn't know how to probe, or is too lazy to probe, I should say, and I just pick up a new ship and go again. It's ridiculous.
It's just amazing. Like, they don't get it.
Someone just said, talk about the Moros. So, we killed a Moros last night. I used a mechanic that's been in the game now for a few years that CCP has never cared to fix, and it's game mechanics. Kind of like this new Doomsday I want to talk about in a moment since we're running out of time. Yeah, we got plenty of time to talk about CCP, please. So, a lot of complaints came yesterday. Yesterday during my stream, we got a guy to join Fleet Namoros, because I was trying to fleet warp him. But they have this new mechanic called flag exempt. So you can't fleet warp someone that's flag exempt. It's just the way it works. So he was being all smug, and thought that he couldn't be killed. Because now he can play undock games in my fleet and talk shit. Well, if you drag someone from Wing 1 to Wing 2, it gives you a session change timer of 10 seconds. Then you drag them to Wing 3, another session change timer of 10 seconds. You can't dock with a session change timer. So all I did was add him to watch list. He stayed in fleet like a moron, and I just moved him around like 30,000 times. And as I moved him around 30,000 times, he was taking damage. Now, to counter this, it's a very simple thing. CCP said so. Leave the fleet. You leave the fleet, he can't move you around, and you just stock up 10 seconds later. He didn't do this until he was in half structure. And then his Moros died. And, like, the Horde watching the chat blew up with, oh my god, we're going to get boat banned, And then they realized what I did, and they're like, oh. Because I've done that like 3 or 4 times now. It's fucking hilarious. Like,
I'm just watching the straw grasping. Like, yeah, you tell these stories. These are true. Like, these are things that actually happen of people who, and there's evidence for all of them, and yet they're all like.
He's a Moros pilot. He can't be a newbie. A fucking Moros pilot. Like what?
Apparently, Boat.
Oh, we were in experts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were destroyers when we killed his Moros. They didn't even undock to try and save him. Like, he was dying on the undock, and everyone was just like, oh, he's dead.
So your laughing is fake because the social experts who also say that going clubbing or having friends or having a life is bad, these social experts are in chat right now saying that you and I, when we have been laughing, have been faking it because we're just trying to hide our shame at, I guess, not taking O and Y or giving good fights.
We're running out of time.
This is amazing.
We got about 4 minutes left, so we're running out of time here. My show normally has giveaways, but I don't know how Laz does them, so I'm sorry, but there won't be any giveaways this week. You know what? Actually, you know what? I gave a Plex away last week. I'll do that again. I'll give away a Plex.
Okay.
4 minutes. So I'll give away a Plex, and you'll get that on my show. So
apparently Plex is crashing now. Like there's a lot of market destruction.
Yeah, it's down. Which fuck. Well, no, we're gonna go into my show because I don't want to run a fleet at the moment. So new Doomsday mechanic, Rocket X. So they had the capital. Well, you're like, hold on, your camera's out of focus all of a sudden. And now you're.
It does that. Like my webcam
yeah, so
like
move your head back and forth real quick, so maybe your camera will refocus, or like go real close or something. Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, we're good. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so someone's saying that we need to talk about Doomsdays, and so a Sword Fleet went out a couple days ago, and made the mistake of going through X7, but the FC was Scooter McCabe, and he was intelligent and decided to go to a Perch. Well, Perches are great if you don't want to get pipe bombs. Perches are not so great in between distance of warp, because you still warp in that same warp distance.
Oh,
if you're going to land 600 above or 600 below, it doesn't matter. If you're going to dodge the pipe bomb, you can't dodge the warp distance, like the little tunnel. So what PL did was, PL Ragnarok stuck his Titan dead center of that warp distance, waited till he had them on D-scan, as they're coming along, activate his Lance Doomsday. Now, Lance Doomsday is this big arc. It's like a arcing beam. But it continuously fires for like 20 seconds. Like pulse. So it's like, think about it like a big lightsaber going through space. And so as the Sword Fleet went through him, they hit that lightsaber and just evaporated. Pods, ships, everything dies. Right? They lose like 15 fucking interceptors zapped. Right? Only PL could come up with this. Well, it appears, according to some inside sources, that this was brought up a month ago to CCP during the Fireside. Or not the Fireside, during their big, their capital focus group. And CCP told them, oh, that's working as intended. So now they've got this AoE Doomsday that works like a smart bomb, but a smart bomb takes 12 seconds to cycle. So if you miss in a safe spot, because a smart bomb can do this, very, very difficult to do, but if you miss with a smart bomb, you miss, right? There's no 12 seconds. You have to wait 12 seconds to do it again. With this, it constantly fires for 20 seconds. You're not missing because of how fast.
So you just sort of like press the button and then everything that goes in there for 20 seconds. You pick 2 points
on the map. You pick 2 points on your little map. The beam goes bzzz, and then it zaps everything that goes in between. And it does like 100,000 damage. It's a very, very light damage, but it's a lot for frigates. And it just evaporated all of them. It was fucking hilarious. Oh, God. Apparently, this was done to a Cerberus fleet a couple days ago, too. Yeah. So it's a new it's a thing. CCP was notified that it could happen, and then CCP said, yeah, it's working as intended. So that is I don't know what the fuck they're thinking with that. I mean, there's only like. Well,
I guess they'd have to actually take those things outside of like XTAC 7 in order to do that.
Well, no, they did it in
It is funny, actually. Yeah, that's what I mean. That happened in X7.
Yeah.
So one of the guys was looking in chat here, actually, one of the amazing O and Y fights. So basically, there's all these people who are our enemies that want us to fight the way that they want. And you're going, why aren't you taking O and Y? Why aren't you taking O and Y? Because every time we reinforce it or hit the cloning, they're like, oh my god, there's going to be this big, amazing battle. Not understanding that we find what they want and then we give them the opposite of it. Instead, actually, so the killboard that was linked here is quite interesting, where you saw, I think this was an Asher's Serb fleet, outnumbered like almost 2.5 to 1 last night. Still managed to.
Okay,
yeah,
so
it was nuts.
I can talk about this because my bombers were there.
Go for it.
We had the great bomber WAF available today, and what happened is the idea here with this fleet last night was Asher was like, hey, I want to go poke O and Y again. I saw how you hit cloning. Let's do it again. Maybe we can reinforce the station. We'll just fuck around. And I was free, so I was like, oh, I'll bring bombers, and we'll just throw 5 bombing runs at them and run away. Well, right as Asher got the system, everybody and their uncle made broadcast of, this is their big push, guys. Get ready. You had Pro God Legend. You had a Darkness Coalition and Darkness Renters, Blades of Grass forming up. You had all these like renters and mismatch of trash coming to defend them. And see, that was forming Max. And so all these people thinking this is our big push. Well, Asher was just there to derp around, right? Like he was there to try new things, and it was the Serb fleet. And I had bombers on grid, and I went through 5 dictors, destroying bombs, blowing shit up left, right, and center. people screaming, pro-god screaming, everyone screaming. What we found
Which is
out
why we
is
play. It's the screaming and like getting the chat board live, and having them be frustrated and suffering is a lot more fun for us than a good fight, which is something
right.
I think.
So right as Asher got the system, Asher decides that he's going to play bait. Now, you can't play a good bait unless you sit on grid, right? You just can't. You can't be bait without sitting there, like actually sitting there. So he had to sit there a few times. Well, what we found out is when he got there is that we had a small tower he could hide in. So that's what he did. He went and hid in a small tower during the operation. So he would come out of the small tower, do his thing, and then go back to the small tower. So finally they said, fuck it, when bubble camped it. And then they reinforced it. Well, reinforcement's like 15 hours. They were going to camp at 15 hours. And Darkness decides to bounce around on grid while I had bombers there. And just thinking, they even said, and I quote, "We are safe bouncing around. It's not like boat's going to bomb us." Right after they said that, a Dictor bubble appeared on them, and they got bombed and lost half their fleet. So it was kind of hilarious. But in this fight, what was great about this fight is local hit 900. It was the first time ONY's had 900 people in it in a couple weeks. And of the 900 people, it was only 200 of us, right? So we were outnumbered 4-1. Like, it was massively their way.
Well, we had our hack fleets and our sword fleets in other constellations in Fade.
And we managed to save a bunch of timers in Fade while this was happening. Horde was there. NC Dot showed up. They had 100 and so. But NC Dot never really got into any kill mails because as NC Dot had jumped in the system, we went and saved up at the pause for half an hour. And they just turned around and went home and took their toys and went home. It was fucking great.
Well, they're used to us fucking with them like this. This is the thing. So somebody actually did bring up an interesting point in chat from our enemies, which I'm going to address really quickly right now, which was, we're saying that people aren't showing up to defend Horde, which is true, and yet at the same time we're talking about a battle where everybody did show up to defend Horde. So how do you square that circle? The answer is that every time we poke O1Y, Horde screams and prays for Pandemic Legion for everybody else to come bail them out, because they genuinely believe that every time we hit O1Y, we're going to make a big attempt. There's going to be this amazing fleet battle that they really think is going to happen. I'm going to tell you guys now exactly what you can expect every time we hit O1Y and we take down the cloning, is we will be continuing to hit it, make you overreact, distract you while we go after objectives around there, break your will, break the will of your allies, and outside of these big O1Y, oh, everybody come save us, pray for PL things, when they pray for PL, they pray for their allies don't come, their allies are leaving. The reality on the ground is this, and you can shout as much as you want, but for those of you who want to see the facts are on Dotland. The facts are where your allies are staging, the facts are on the kill boards. Like, these are evidence-based things, and you can come to an independent assessment regardless of what I say. Of course, you don't want to do that because the evidence contradicts what you want to believe. Test is leaving.
They're just leaving. Test was going to Vale. A lot of their members have been going. Blue Eyes has been doing ops there. They've been hunting these Dreadnought rats and Capital rats. They've been gone all week, pretty much. Now, they're officially moving May 1st. But because all of them had to leave, ProGod had the big capital letters. Everyone jumped home. Get home now. Get home now. And we need to get back to 5GXX. We have this big push from Goons. We got to stomp it. Get back here, quick. And then it was really nothing.
It's interesting because, like, old school warfare is always, we were taught this stuff originally by the Russians. Like, RA back in the day taught Babby Goonswarm at the start of the Great War, actually the first phase of the Great War after Syndicate in like September, October of 2006. We went to Innsmother to help RA. RA had been fighting outnumbered 800 characters against 13,000 characters in the Southern Coalition, which was led by La Volterra. And they taught us that the tactics of psychological warfare break the pilot, they don't break the ship. And so things like blue balling, weaponized boredom, control cues, log off traps, whatever the enemy considered to be dishonorable, you would find what they find dishonorable or makes them unhappy, and then you just feed them that over and over again. And the more that you communicate this, the more you make it open about what you can expect when fighting us, the more it demoralizes them, because they know they're not going to get good fights. They're not going to get what they want unless we make mistakes. We will make mistakes. The thing about war is being able to iterate, adjust your strategy, and make forward progress and adapt to the reality. If you blind yourself to the reality on the ground, i.e. if you're doing what our enemies are doing here in chat right now, going la 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 la, goons are making no progress, la 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 la, you've lost all your SOV. There's this one guy who's saying you've lost everything. It's just, you have to see what's happening on the chessboard. And if you don't face that, and if you don't fight your enemy's desires, you won't win. And we do this, but it seems like everybody else has forgotten how to do it.
Another key point someone brings up about the enemy losing. So Pandemic Horde lives in Serpentis space now. They're parts of Fade and then Fountain or Serpentis space. Serpentis space has these dreadnoughts, and the Serpentis dreadnought has managed to bag some 100+ Pandemic Horde Ratters, because the Serpentis Dread will appear in a belt. And you have these guys in Ishtars and Vexers who are not designed to fight something that requires 20, 30 people getting obliterated by it because they try to fight it. And it's kind of hilarious. I mean, a carrier died once, we've had a couple of rattlesnakes die, and it's been fucking hilarious to watch this die. More people are dying to this dreadnought than you would ever expect. Like, you'd think they would just leave the belt and go somewhere else, but
it's a bug zapper. Like, it's gonna take a while for like, in general, these new features are kind of like that. Like, people will not adjust or adapt. It'll take time. It's just been really interesting to see, like, we're really iterating on our hacking fleet doctrines now. Like, we're kind of really coming to grips with not just attacking everybody's SOV, but also optimizing the way that we do it. And the way that we're optimizing this time around, because FuzzySOV is an attacker bias system, that means that it's relatively easy for both sides to attack, and there's like a scorched earth parity in any given region after time, is that it really does emphasize psychological warfare. Like, it's not enough to just blow up the enemy spaceships. You really do have to break their will, and that's been a lot of fun. Like, we're getting to see results with Pandemic Horde because they're so easy to infiltrate. No matter what they say on the show chat.
Our enemies hate
really?
me.
So he's throwing money at us.
VITERFLEET.
Coming
What's your take?
We just sing
Somebody's asking a question here in chat, which is relevant, which we haven't addressed. People have mostly forgotten about this. What's your take on DJ restoring the Goonstorm corp name? CCP turned that off. Yep. Yeah, so they didn't. He tried that and it failed. Whatever.
DJ went to them, said, "Hey, can I have the corp back?" They said, "Sure."
Reddit it wasn't CCP. It was Falcon, and it was Falcon.
Falcon reversed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hilarious because Reddit exploded. And it's another example of something that bothers me with CCP lately. And I mean, CCP is cool, and they do things for players, and yada, 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 whatever. Don't badmouth CCP, but I'm going to here. CCP needs to stop listening to Reddit, because there's been this is one of many examples where CCP does something, Reddit explodes with the few loudmouths in Reddit, and then they immediately redact something, right? You're a fucking company. If you want to do something, if you want to give Darius the fucking corp name, give him the fucking corp name. Like, why do you have to listen to a bunch of nerds complain about it, right? I don't understand CCP's thing lately with the whole...
Well, it's a problem of their own creation, right? Like, this is the thing that other game companies have grappled with, is that, especially because if you let your devs post on random Reddits, you don't have just a community manager doing it, they get addicted to the validation, right? Like, nerds in general, particularly the people who spend lots of time on Reddit all day in these echo chambers as they develop, they want that shot on the arm of validation if I got a lot of upvotes or something. And once you genuflect before the altar of REVE or of any subreddit for any game company, as a company, if you do that, then you're basically buying into the frame. People often ask me, why do you always shit on REVE? Why are you not trying to buy into the frame and, like, maybe the good content will come up to the top? Well, it's run by a neo-Nazi Dur and Jane Fillen who wears a fucking bow tie and is a triumvirate FC. Like, these are people who are vehemently hostile towards and just shit, basically. So buying into the frame is dumb. And also, if you do buy into the frame, you end up in CCP situation, where once you have fueled the frame by acknowledging it as having value, right? Like, there's good subreddits, there's bad subreddits. REVE is one of the most toxic and shitty. And because CCP has validated it, they have elevated it to a point where they seem to think that it's a good pathway for new players and things. And so the people come in as their first experience, they end up like Brave Newbies or Pandemic Horde, they have a bad experience and they wandered off, just like what happened with the This Is Eve video. So until they actually realize that they have made a terrible mistake and stop bowing before that altar, they will continue to have problems. Like, during FanFest, you didn't actually see that much of what CCP's PR department wanted you to see. Like, CCP's PR department is out there talking to the media, trying to get stories told and things like that, and because they have genuflected before the altar of REVE, the only stories that you actually saw during FanFest were a whole bunch of, like, random shitty memes of me being on fire or hanging myself or things like that. Like, it completely obliterated their media cycle because REVE is everything.
You didn't get a lot of stories about FanFest on Reddit. There was 2.
Yeah.
For like a week. Like, nobody talked about this year's FanFest. And one thing that actually got me to actually tune out FanFest was the first keynote. I tuned in, And the very first thing I hear is Dreaded is recruiting out of their lead program designer. It's like, why would you announce that at your keynote? Your keynote's supposed to be about things you're designing for Eve. Yeah, he has a blue microphone, by the way, everyone.
Yeah, somebody's saying I need a blue microphone.
Yeah, so
awesome.
when that's the first thing your head designer of the game, programmer, producer, whatever her name is, her title is, that's bad. Siegel. Yeah, that she says. Dreaded is recruiting. I'm just like, what? Wait, what? Okay,
well, you know, they want the recruits. I mean, the company needs to make money, and that's reasonable. But, like, excuse me, like, the whole thing... Oh, wow, this is funny. Sorry. People like the club shaming crew, like, oh my god, love to club, whatever. Somebody is now going, what's wrong with bow ties? I mean, I guess noted fashion model Tucker Carlson loves bow ties. I mean, you can wear them if it's formal wear, right? If it's a black tie event, that's okay. But if you think that wandering around in daily life with a bow tie is okay, you're probably also into wearing trilbies or unironic kilt wearing, which is like not when you're going to like a Scottish wedding or something like that, or part of a bagpiping regiment, which is okay. But like there are certain rules of socializing and not being a shameful goddamn tip yet, you know, milady neckbeard, and not wearing a bow tie is one of them. Milady. Tippy Fedora is, you know, Tippy Fedora is funny because it's true. Like, you know,
I never
it is
understood.
the case.
Okay, so we're gonna have a little bit of boat seriousness. I don't understand the whole tipping of the fedora thing. I've never understood it. I mean, I'm a big guy for the moment, for the next few months, hopefully, and then I'm gonna be this massive bodybuilder type. But anyways, when people talk about tipping a fedora, I've never encountered someone in my social circle that's ever done that. Right? I've never met.
Do you have people in your social circle who wear trilbies?
Yeah, like I've never met someone that wore one, right? Unironically, anyways. Like, you know, there maybe someone will wear it as a joke, but why do I see Eve in my background?
Like bringing up Eve for some reason? Like we're
I don't
looking
know
at
why
your
Eve's there. Hold on. Why do I have Eve? Oh God, there we go. Button. There we go. Okay, so I was hoping that my pandemic court spot didn't get spotted. I accidentally showed it yesterday. They still haven't kicked it out yet, but
I mean, I don't know anybody who wears a trilby except for a stereotype. You see them at gaming, sure, that has cropped up with an Eve in the last 3 years or so of just like, I mean, you know, clubbing is bad, partying is bad, having a life is bad, wearing a bow tie is good. Why would you shame a fedora? Like, I just don't even know what to say. So, like, you know, these are probably the same people who are saying that, like, DBRB and I have, like, fake laughs, or that eye contact is a sign of sociopathy, or they're afraid to have their names called out in a chat channel, like Tweetfleet Slack. Like, this is really weird sort of living under a rock culture that has cropped up with an Eve in the last 3 years or so of just, like, you know... Clubbing is bad, partying is bad, having a life is bad, wearing a bow tie is good. Why would you shame a fedora? Like, you know, if fedora shaming is wrong, I don't want to be right. If bow tie shaming is wrong, I don't want to be right. Like,
I don't want to cut this out here, but for all the people that have been going, fuck, I hate this, I'm leaving, in chat, we are actually up 300 viewers in the last 30 minutes, so... I don't know where everyone's going. I don't know. I guess they're coming back.
Well, there's this one guy who was claiming that he was totally a subscriber and he hates seeing me, and that, like, the thing is that
why
these
would you
attempts.
If you hate it's his fucking channel.
Well, because it's a very obvious, transparent lie that's dumb. Just like our enemies who are going like, you're losing all your shit and you're just spinning. Like, guys, this is what I say in the Fireside Chats, and you guys can hear the Fireside Chats on this channel because we're going to do one tomorrow. Is we have been teaching our people in the Imperium how to read a soft map, how to realize it's not just about TCUs, how to see what's going on and understand campaigns such that we can understand, you know, where to direct our Fremen, which is our solo soft hacking organization, which we just spun up yesterday. So I'll send a ping about that after I get off the show. You know, the perfect information in FozzieSov is both good and bad, but that perfect information, not only does it detract from recon gameplay, but it also means that we can say, look what's happening in Fade. Look what's happening on the kill board. Look what we're doing. But these people, they don't want to see what's there. Like, there are forward progress, backward progress in wars. These things ebb and flow. But you can at least see what the chessboard is now, and you couldn't see what the chessboard was in Dominion or Pasov. It was completely opaque propaganda stuff. You know, the truth is there for everybody to see on the API.
I do think it's great you're calling it the Fremen, because lately, in the last couple of weeks, they've been calling me Muad'Dib whenever I come into local.
Praise Bodhi testify. That's awesome.
Yeah, so there's been these jokes about Muad'Dib has arrived and he's coming, and yeah, so That's actually kind of perfect. Okay, so we've gone over a good 20 minutes, which is perfect. I wanted to go over some time.
We should probably have you. Are you gonna go
yeah,
sit
I'm
down?
gonna do a giveaway.
Horse?
So let's see. What is it? I don't want a keyword. Just spam chat. I'm too lazy to make a keyword.
There's no need for a
something
keyword. Just say
witty
something.
and ridiculous. So while we're getting ready for the giveaway of the Plex, which is cheap enough now I can afford one. No, I'm just joking. We found something interesting.
While you're I'm going to throw out a
Vegas.
little bit more shade here. E-Vegas,
Yes.
perfect segue. So
I'm going.
Vegas is coming. Vegas is awesome. We love Vegas because we love to club. And this is one of the other things about like the shameful neckbeards with their bow ties and their fedoras that is so weird with the like love to club stuff. And I keep bringing this up because it's fascinating to me. Is that almost all of the leadership in nullsec alliances across the board tend to be very extroverted personalities, and like the people in PL who like they're going after me because I like to club and party, and yet we've been rolling around together with the guys in PL, the upper echelons of their alliance, the ones that they're praying to save, going clubbing constantly. Alliance leaders and fleet commanders are usually like bender party club types across the board.
I'll get to that in a
They're
second.
like trying to
Explanation
shake
here.
that.
People are awkward or hipsters wear bow ties. People who are awkward or hipsters wear bow ties,
Oh,
fedoras,
yeah.
curly mustaches. End of their
And they're shit
title
at
is-
Esquire, and they aren't a lawyer. It's to
This
compensate for a lack of something, trying to make themselves
Oh
look
my
novel.
God.
It's true. Like they want to look different, so they're going to wear the same.
Well,
I mean,
so-
you know, I rag on lumbersexuals
thanks for
too.
your
Like I
subscribe.
rag on like hipsters, like in bars when they have the same beard, the same glasses, the same hair, and they all wear the same like the same like red and blue checked shirt. I don't get that shit either. So it's not just that I'm going to like fashion shame the bow tie guys.
I feel
but-
bad for the people that participate in this Forever War, because when I go to Vegas this year, there's always this big penthouse party that happens, and it's invite only. Like Mittens walks around with his little like business cards and like says, "You're coming to the party. You're coming to the party. You're coming to the party." And there's always
God.
these people that get left out, and like their faces. From people who go to E-Vegas, they tell me their faces like look like sad puppies who just don't get to
that
come
Wingspan,
enjoy the
that
hookers and blow.
Wingspan TT guy, like he was
Yeah.
on a podcast because like I had met him for the first time, and I was going to see about like inviting him to the party, and I'm like, do you like to party? Do you like to smoke weed? Do you like to do whatever? And he
Yeah.
like looks at me kind of awkward. I'm like, no, you don't. Never mind. And then he it was on a podcast later talking about like how he met the Mittani and related that story and tried to make it funny, but it was just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah,
but I mean,
so-
it's true. We do like to party. We like to throw crazy parties, as do most people who are the top level nullsec. So you have these basically bottom feeders in Pandemic Horde, or I guess test guys, who are like basically if EVE Online is like high school.
Right.
I don't think I said this on the last meta show, but I
You
love
did,
this. Somebody
you did.
came up
You
with
brought
this.
up a little bit of it.
Okay,
But the thing about
so
the high school, real quick before you go to that, is to the previous point, is that the guys who come to this party were all these people that have invaded us because they want to be in this party. They want the free alcohol, they want the free hookers, they want the free blow, and now they're not going to get to take part in it, right? They're not going to get to enjoy the high life of the penthouse. They're going to have to hang out with a bunch of, fat nerds.
fedora wearing.
Yeah. So,
bow tie guys. Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, I like people who are good at partying no matter what. If they're chill, they're chill. I mean, of course, it is a hell worse if things
Yes.
are different. We'll see how things are.
Yep,
but
yep.
Vegas this year is going to be Halloween weekend. Vegas Halloween weekend. It is going to be an epic bender for the ages. Because, I mean, of course, I'm a huge Halloween guy. I don't really get, like, in costumes because I'm lazy. But,
Yep.
if you spend too much time in goth industrial clubs, you like Halloween. Because every day is Halloween, as Ministry would say.
Oh, it
but
is
the high
Halloween.
school analogy.
oh man, I might cosplay this motherfucker then.
Oh, dude!
I'll wear the hat
I
and
think,
the
I think
outfit
Tamara
and
Link is going to
everything.
come,
Oh.
and he's going to like every single time. He's going to have completely everything. So I gotta drop the high school analogy. Then we're going to give away a Plex, and then you need to go shit down Horde's throat for hours and mock them because they deserve it. So if EVE is a lot like high school, you have PL would be the popular kid. That's the #1 generic elite MMO rating guild. NC Dot is like the mean girl that's slightly less popular than the most popular kid, and so it's like really bitchy to everybody because they wish that they could be
And
#1.
the slightly overweight girl.
well,
that
not
only
necessarily.
complains
They-
about the
they
hot
don't
girls
have to-
having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, the #2 in popularity, like the bitchy mean girl who is not as cool as the prom king or whatever. Test in this analogy is basically Test is the nerd who the popular kid makes do his homework in return for letting him hang out with him.
At the party.
And essentially, like, you know, you're totally one of the cool kids, man. I'll invite you to this party or whatever, and just as long as you do my homework. And like you know, the kid actually thinks that he's in the crowd, which is why when this thing happened,
that reminds me of Pro God Legends so much.
Right, so that's why the FanFest thing was so bad, because like, you know, with the whole, like, you know, the girl thing was, you know, the popular kid in front of the lunchroom, I guess, in front of everyone, finds out that the nerdy guy who does his homework has a crush on some girl, and then, you know, visibly steals the girl and mocks the guy in front of everybody. And of course, in this tortured analogy, Goonstorm is the juvenile delinquent skipping class and selling weed and throwing dangerous parties, who hates everybody and doesn't really take the popularity contest seriously.
Well, no, I would say hates everyone. I like to refer to us, and a lot of people don't like this analogy, but we're the high school kid who does the smoking weed and the hanging out. Have you ever seen the movie Dazed and Confused? Have you ever seen that movie?
I always like high school
We're the guys
girls.
that hang out at the end of the movie.
I get older and they stay the same
right.
age.
We're the guy at the end of the... We're like the guy and the girl who... like the 3 or 4 guys that smoke weed and just chill, and everybody knows them, and everybody talks to them, and everyone hangs out with them. But they're not the most popular, not the least popular. They're just there, right? They smoke weed, they hang out, they go to parties, they drive around. Nobody ever starts has a real issue with them sometimes. That's how I view goons, right? Because every time I go to a party
they started an issue with us,
like
I guess, in this case, in this tortured high school analogy, it's because we didn't respect the popularity of the cool kids, because we don't give a shit. I think it could also be a Heathers analogy. Like, we could also potentially be the crazy guy from Heathers who kills everybody. Christian Slater's character. I forget the name of it. But anyway, so it's just kind of funny, like, particularly like that, you know, the Entosis slaves thing, right? You have the Reddit meat shield, you have the Pandemic Horde guys, you have the test guys who are basically doing the homework of the popular kids in order to be allowed to hang out with them. And then the moment that the, you know, the nerds doing their homework actually want to get help from the popular kids, i.e. every single day in O and Y and surrounding and Fade, the popular kids are like, oh, you know, why aren't you good enough to be able to handle this yourself? It's a chilling analogy for these guys, because I think it's true. I mean, you see the populations of these entities, and I don't think it brings back positive memories for them.
Someone DM me this. One of my favorite movies is 10 Things I Hate About You, and it has, what is that guy's name? Heath Ledger. And someone said, you goons are like Heath Ledger in that movie. Like, everyone fears and hates him, but in reality, he's this chill, fun guy who, you know, everyone should appreciate, kind of thing, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where that analogy is going, but we got to do a giveaway. So
we do, and then you need to go kill Horde.
260 people have spammed, so we're going to go ahead and throw them a roll here in a few seconds. And of course, as the rules always state, you must be a follower, not a subscriber is optional. We appreciate all subscribers, but you don't have to be a subscriber to win all ISK giveaways or anything related to in-game assets, because that's against CCP rules. So I like to remind people that you must be a follower, but the rest doesn't matter. And 3, 2, 1, button click. All right, Mad Dutchman 10. I don't know who you are, but you have 30 seconds to say something in chat. Mad Dutchman 10. You have 30 seconds to say something. Once you say something, I'll get your Eve name in chat in a minute, and then we'll throw Plex at you. But yeah, I guess enough of the movie analogies. But yeah, okay, so another meta show down. Oh man.
A meta boat show.
Okay, he says yep, so good. He replied within 30 seconds. Now he just has to give me his in-game name, and I'll send him a Plex. And hopefully this time I don't fuck up again, because last time I fucked up and activated the Plex on the guy, and the guy like got really sad because he already had like 3 months of game time.
He like wanted to sell it or something like that.
Yeah, he wanted to sell it, and so I was like, oh shit. So yeah, dude, just type your name in chat. Mad Dutchman.
Extra long meta show, high school edition. This is awesome. We're pretty much just like trolling people and shitting on them in chat nonstop, which is hysterical. When all you have to do to get with people is go like, "Here's basic strategy. We'll explain it to you. Here's Dotland. Here's Zkill. Do you want to throw a tantrum about these truths?" Oh, all
right, so
it's good shit.
Create contract. Wait, okay, his name is Mad Dutchman. Hopefully, there's no one else named Mad Dutchman, but we'll find out in a second.
With 2 D's.
So, Mad Dutch. Yeah, that's fine. Let's find out. Wow, there's a lot of Mad Dutchmans. Oh, there's only one. Good. Okay. And the contract should be up now. Perfect. You got 1 Plex. Congratulations. So, yeah, that's it for the meta show today. Anything else you want to add?
Well, I mean, you have some Entosa slaves to kill.
Yeah, I'm going to go do that in a minute. With
Entosa slaves and nerds who do homework. So, why don't you go? Are you going to get on that? Are you going to form a fleet? And,
yeah, we're about to
angry?
Go do that. We're gonna take out the Bomber Waff. It's this. I haven't been doing a lot of Bomber Waff lately because I've been so busy pressing Horde. So Bomber Waff's been neglected, and so they're not getting neglected today. They're getting taken out today. So it's like walking a dog. You got to have them out once in a while.
Wow. So we got a request in chat here to actually cut the stream off and play the outro and what have you, so that it'll be a separate VOD for when you start your show.
Oh right, yeah. I didn't do that last week, and I got yelled at by the guy who does the metrics.
Yes.
I changed the name, but I didn't. Yeah, so I'll do that. So okay, bye everyone.
Bye guys, thanks for coming.
Okay, let me.
Except for the bad guys, in which case, ha ha ha. There you go.
You are about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the meta. The meta controls everything. The meta determines what will and will not happen. You are watching The Meta Show.